Welcome back to Bo Sports.
On today's episode, we're going to be catching up on a lot of stuff. We're in the NFL season, so we're in week 12. I know we're a little behind, but we're going to talk about the Packers, the Niners, maybe even the Patriots. And we're even going to go into some stuff about the New Revolution, what the future is, maybe what their team's looking like for next season. So let's get into this.
What is the Patriots playoff looking like?
Yeah, so there's a few things wrong with the Patriots. Now, do I think they have a chance of making the playoffs? Yes. I think it's possible. Do I think it's going to happen? No. Just based off of what their schedule is looking like coming up. And also, when you look at the playoff picture, they have a 1% chance of making the playoffs. They're 3-8 right now at the moment. They are 4th in their division. And they got teams like the Bills, the Chargers, and the Cardinals coming up. And I don't see them making it. If they do, that's going to be very, very, very slim chance that they will, because they still have to beat the Bills twice. They have to be 9-8, most likely, to make it into playoffs, or even having a chance of making it into playoffs. So, do you have anything else to say about that, Aidan?
They had Tom Brady.
They did have Tom Brady for a while, and the Patriots are... I mean, I'm sorry, Patriots fans, but you guys are struggling without the greatest man of all time in your the back of your lineman. You can't do anything. You can't seem to find the right quarterback. You can't seem to find the right players to fit around that quarterback. It's just an all around bad football for Patriots fans. But, I mean, you have to give credit to them. The last couple of weeks, they've been really battling hard. Obviously, you know, it is what it is. You got a lot of injuries. You got a lot of issues in the team. I mean, you can't. It's all about year by year. You have to rebuild. Right now, it's rebuild stage for the Patriots. If they can figure out what's going on the team, if they can get all these injuries back, you know, these people who are injured back into the starting lineup, I think they can have a good chance, but they need to first, it's a day by day, week by week scenario for them, and they just need to get through the season and then look to next season. Now let's talk about the Packers and Niners. Now I know that this game is going to be big for me and Aidan, because me and Aidan are both opposite team-loving teams. He's a Niners fan, I'm a Packers fan. He used to be a Packers fan, and then he decided to become a Niners fan. But, you know, it is what it is. It's going to be a fun night between the two of us. We're going to be definitely smack-talking each other and all that. But let's talk about this game. Now, the Niners, it appears that they have a lot of problems at the each position when it comes to injuries. What are some people who are injured right now, Aidan?
Defense.
Yeah.
Offense.
Yeah. I mean, I can list off some. Yeah, we can list off some people who are questionable, maybe even doubtful of not showing up for this coming game. You got Nick Bosa, you got Jacob Cowing, who a wide receiver. You got George Kittle, you got Brock Purdy. You got these big names that are on the injury list, not IR, because some of them could potentially play still. But Nick Bosa was no participation yesterday in practice. We got Jacob Cowing. He was limited participation in yesterday's practice. We got George Kittle. He was also limited practice time. And Brock Purdy was also limited in Wednesday's practice. So, I mean, that was because of a shoulder injury. Kittle was because of a hamstring. Concussion for Cowing. And a hip for Nick Bosa. So, I mean, you guys have a lot of injuries right now. So, what are you looking for in your team in order to get the win over the Packers, Aidan?
The offense or the defense play good.
Yeah. That's all you can ask for in your team if you're down a lot of injuries. I mean, all you can do is just try to get through the game as best as you can. If you don't make it through and you don't succeed and you lose, you got next week, because then you got one extra week for these injuries to get better, and then go from there. So let's talk about the Packers side of the ball. Now, they're not as injured. I believe they only have one guy on the injury list at the moment right now. Let me double check that. They only have a few guys. So Josh Jacobs is questionable. Rasheed Walker was questionable. Josh Myers is also questionable. Kenny Clark, questionable. Cooper, questionable. Jair, also questionable. So we got a few guys that are banged up, but only one guy on IR, and that's Jordan. Jordan Morgan. He was injured I believe at the beginning of the season. So we don't have very many injuries. Just a couple of guys banged up. I think we just need to convert on our third downs, because that's a huge problem for the Packers. I mean, looking at a couple there, at the last games, I mean, they got, let's see, I mean, the time of possession was horrible, abysmal, way worse than the Bears, and they still somehow managed to squeak out of that game with a win. I still am baffled as to how they got out of that game with a win, but they have a lot of problems. I mean, if you look at their game, they were 1 for 5 on third downs. I mean, that's abysmal. You look at the Bears game, or you look at on the Bears side of the ball, they were 9 for 16 on third down, and they were 3 for 3 on fourth downs. So that's another big problem with us right now. I think if our defense just locks down on those fourth downs, I think we could definitely that could definitely change the game around dramatically. But if the Niners just convert on fourth down and convert on third downs, I think they can easily beat the Packers. It's just a matter of who has the more grit on each side of the ball, and all you can ask for is the best in your players. If you have anything else to say, Aidan?
We really need to crack down the penalty issues.
Yeah, what do you mean by that, Aidan?
They led on 9 penalties and 54 yards for the Seahawks. We dominated possession, and our time was good, and the last drives just killed us.
Yeah, I mean, again, you can't really control an ending to a game if you start to slack off in the important minutes of the game. I mean, you can't really change that.
Go team.
Yeah, go team is right. Yeah, go Pack.
Go Niners.
No, go Pack.
No.
No, go Pack.
No.
Why not? Anyways, so let's go into this next topic. Let's talk about the New Revolution. Now, we all know what happened. Obviously, it's been a while since we talked about them. It's been about 5 months now.
Yeah.
Not even, probably less than 5 months, but it's been something of a time being a Revolution fan. Obviously, they didn't make it to playoffs. They didn't even come close. They were literally by far the worst team in the league, as we suspected at the beginning of the season. They didn't get anything changed, really, other than getting a couple of free agents coming in and who were making some good strides on our team. I think they did a lot of effort. I mean, we can talk about a couple of guys. Langoni, one guy who's really effective on the team. What was that other guy's name? Was it not Mohammed? The striker that recently came up on our team. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. Caleb Porter. He gets all these free agents, gets all these new players, trades away DeJuan Jones, who, by the way, turned out to become a fantastic player for Columbus Crew, who he went to. Yes, when a couple weeks before he got traded, or when he got traded to Columbus, a couple weeks later, when he was playing against New England on Columbus, he scored on us. What a shocking surprise that happens. That's not a shocker.
And then they're out of it.
Exactly. And then New England obviously just, I mean, you can't even be mad about anything anymore at this point now. I mean, they just finished the season very poorly. They were sorry, they were second to last. They Chicago was worse, but they finished 9-4-21. I didn't expect it to be that bad, but that's abysmal. That beyond abysmal. Going from being Supporter Shield, the second best Supporter Shield record of all time, because obviously now we know Inter Miami beat them, beat that record by what, 2? Yeah, it's very, very humiliating going from one of the best teams in the league to one of the worst teams in the league, and it's very demoralizing. But what can you do? Yusuf is one of the new strikers / midfielders, and we got Peyton Miller came in, Langoni came in, Chunkalai ended up getting hurt. We brought in Tim Parker too. We had a couple of guys come in. We also had Dylan Barrero come back for a while. So we had some guys who returned and played, which made the team a little bit better. But it still didn't seem like New England was anywhere near where they were 2 years ago when they were, or 2 or 3 years ago, when they had the Supporter Shield. I mean, all you can do is just wait for this coming season. I think it's tough because I wouldn't want a coach to be fired just based off of one season. I think if we gave him another season and he does bad again, I think that's when you have to think about finding a new replacement for him, because we did recently just lose Clint PA, one of the assistant coaches for the New England Revolution. He was also one of the head coaches for Revolution 2. I think we need to just figure it out and go week by week through the off season. I think the team that we have right now, I think if they continue with the team they have, I mean, it's a strong team. You got Chunkalai, you got Langoni, you got Yusuf, Carlos Heel. If Carlos Heel stays fit, I think he's going to be a very effective player with those guys. I mean, we saw a couple of really good glimpses towards the end of the season between all those guys, between Yusuf, between Carlos, between Langoni. And then we obviously didn't have Chunkalai. So Chunkalai was also another factor into not winning because of Chunkalai's injury with his, knee, I think. So yeah, we have to just kind of like go through the offseason, figure out, what we can do with the team. I think if the best decision is to figure out a replacement after the second season. I think if we gave Caleb Porter another season, if he doesn't do good and he ends up becoming a failure again, I think it's time for him to go. I think it's the better decision for the team, because then they don't have to worry about going through like 3 other coaches to finally find somebody. I think if they can just try to find their stride with Caleb Porter, I think that's going to be the best way of doing it. But again, we have to just go about it day by day and figure out.
He won a cup too.
Exactly. He could, for all we know, this could just be one bad season, and then this coming season he has something completely changed. He could have changed something completely different. But again, we have to just wait and see until next season. Anything else to say, Aidan?
Let's just say Revolution, let's ride for next year.
Yeah, Revolution, let's ride for next year. That's right. All we can do is just hope for our team to get better. And if it means getting rid of Caleb Porter after this season, during the offseason, getting rid of him and finding a new coach, I don't know who that coach would be.
But again, we got to go about it day by day and figure it out before next season.
But yeah, I think that's all for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. And as always,
you are worth it.
That's right. All right. Have a good one, guys.